I still run into my own issues with goal setting. I get frustrated sometimes, like with this new coaching program. It's like, am I supposed to be up to 100 members and 15, which means 100 in the community and 15 one-on-one, or am I good with, 20 and 5, right? And so the question is you have to set your goals, and they've got to be realistic goals. And I don't want to, outgrow what I'm supposed to be able to manage and handle. And so, when you talk about setting goals, I talk about all the time, you want to establish clear, measurable, achievable goals that align with your long-term vision. And part of that, when you're running a business or you're running a sales empire, or you're in real estate, or you're building a company, is we have these big long-term goals. We're like, you know what, we're going to accomplish this. I want to do 10 million this year. I want to do 20 million this year. But you got to focus on this week's goal. You got to focus on this month's goal. You got to focus on next month's goal, the next 90 days. And when I remind myself, and I have to do that all the time, okay, slow down. What's my goal this week? Okay, my goal this week is to gain one person one-on-one. I'm giving an example from my coaching business. Gain 5 people in the group. What is my goal for the flooring company we're involved in? Well, make sure we get more sales reps, help push the executives that are running the company and my partners to do what they need to do, make sure that we can get Atlanta opened up. And I think it's important. I don't care how big or small you are in business, whether you're starting, whether you're doing 200,000 a year, whether you're doing 2 million a year, whether you're doing 20 or doing 200, it comes back to realistically setting those goals that are attainable and measurable, that you can put in front of yourself, and you want to be able to obtain them. If you set goals that you can't get, you're just going to get discouraged. You're not going to be able to get to the next level. You're not going to be able to better yourself and get that momentum and build that confidence. Everything is about confidence. If you're not confident in yourself, and I doubt myself sometimes too, like I have to go, shit, Jay, I gotta wake up. Like I can't get down on this. I see progress. And sometimes it's hard. It's like watching paint dry. It's like watching your hair grow. Like it feels like it's not going anywhere, but it really is. When you start to look at it, I pulled in the parking lot today and I go, holy shit, in 2 years from right now, 2 years ago, I got a place in Florida, and we were on our rodeo to try to take the company public. A year ago right now, we had $1.05 billion offer to do a reverse merger. And then now that company's closed and I'm building from the ground up, right? So much changes in 1 year. So much changes in 6 months. And that's when you go back and you look at it to see your progress, but you always focus forward. It's hard if you can't see people or be involved with people, or they've got a different time zone. You're like wondering, are they putting in the work? As recent as this past year, I've struggled with people working at home. I was the anti-work at home person. Like, no way you can work at home. Well, like 1 in 15 people can work from home. I've changed, right? I've evolved. I said, okay, I actually have some good people that can do a lot of great shit from home. Yes. They are very successful from home. Some can't, some can. So I used to have this control thing. If you're not in front of me and I can't see you physically working, you're probably not doing enough. That used to be this thing that I've had for years, to where now it's like, look, as long as tasks are being met, right? As long as I'm giving direction or I'm seeing results, right? Because everything's based on results. Then there's nothing for me to, inspect what I expect, right? There's no reason for me to open the hood. It's when things slow down or momentum slows down or things get stagnant, I start asking questions. I tell people that work for me or with me, business partners, executives, directors, doesn't matter. I tell them, look, don't take it personal. I inspect what I expect. I question, because that's the kind of mentality I have. You have that same kind of personality where if you're going to let go, they just have to have thick skin to understand it's not personal. It's just who you are. It doesn't mean you're doubting them. It's just you need to freaking see it, or it doesn't make sense to you. You need to feel it, or it doesn't make sense to you. Some people aren't that way. They just take people for their word, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. I'm the opposite. I like to see it. Forget their word. It's not that I don't trust them. Maybe they think it's AB and I need it to be EF. So I need to see, because maybe there's a misconnection there, where if I see it, I'm like, oh, they got it. Or, hey, you're missing this. So you just got to be proactive when you're hiring people and you're training people and you're coaching people and you're grooming people in your business. You've got to be really, really, really proactive of making sure they understand your personality and that they don't take it personal. So we used to have what I said, native, right? So native is another way to do digital, where it's all authority pages. Think about you're on ESPN or you're at Free Press and you're reading about the Lions and their badass offseason they're having. And you oh, hell yeah. Then I'm a big Lions fan. And then all of a sudden, bam, Someone's like, this is in the solar. Hey, solar can reduce your energy cost and help save the planet. Solar for middle class. What do you think? It's just a headline. They click it. Now it's an educational page. It's not salesy. Hey, here, Jesse got solar. It tells a testimonial. It tells the impact that it did. And then it says, maybe you can save. And it's always like a maybe, should you, where it's not, come here. And then they're like, oh, I like that. And they click. And then that's when I said self-book. You said you don't do that. We don't get the lead and call them. 80% of ours is self-book. They click it and then they get the calendar and they book it. And we do a call the night before to confirm. And that's huge because then you don't have to have all the call center people that you're carrying, and you're allowing the consumer to empower themselves to make a decision. And that's a big deal. We're doing all that through Monday. We're doing all that. And we did all that before through Salesforce. You have to build an online funnel, right? You have to build, Monday will connect to Calendly, which will connect to your sales rep schedule. And you have to build what they call a funnel. I'm not the technical guy to build it behind closed doors, but it's basically when they click it, you're capturing their information and now they're self-booking to your Calendly, and then you're booking the appointment and scheduling it. And you've got all that data coming through. And so that's where the funnel management is. And then that also allows us, if they self-book, if they're like, oh, I can't do it, it's easier if I'm hot on it right now and I think I want concrete and I call you and I'm like, hey, I'd like you to come see me fucking Tuesday. Well, then more than likely I'm going to sit. We talked about that. I'm not going to really cancel. I'm probably going to sit because I need it. I'm like, I need this. If I see an ad and I'm interested, but I don't know if I need it. And then you call me, I may not answer the phone. That's step one. I was interested, but now it's not hot. I'm not answering the phone. You know how that is. You get leads like, fuck, they don't answer the phone. All of these things, or they finally get hold of me. I'm like, yeah. Oh, okay, I guess I'll book it. Well, then that day comes and you're like, shit, I don't want to deal with that guy today. That's what happens. So when they self-book, they fill out the form and they go straight to it. Psychologically, these consumers feel more committed because they booked the date to convenience for them. It's like, it's the craziest thing. They're like, well, I can do Tuesday at 5. So they fucking feel like they own that appointment. It's on them. It's just how it works. And then when we call Monday, we're like, I'm just letting you know, Jimmy's coming tomorrow, Tuesday at 5. And we don't even fucking call them. We text them. We say, hey, this is XYZ company, and we're coming to fucking see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Great. Or no. And if they don't respond, we still go. And if they say yes, we put confirmed and we still go. And if they say no, we try to reschedule. That you have to do that because you eliminate the human error of somebody fucking up on the phone. You eliminate the human error of someone not picking up the phone. You're allowing the consumer. I'm a big believer in this, empowering them to make decisions. People want instant gratification every day. You're giving them that opportunity in your business because you're not selling. People don't want to be fucking sold, man. Like I'm a big believer when they go into the home with solar. I said, I don't want you to fucking talk price. I don't want you to show the proposal. I want you to walk in and then I want you to immediately take them outside and take pictures and show them and make them envision where it's going to be on the roof. And then I want you to walk them over the power panel and make them envision where that battery is going to look like and where it's going to be and pull it out of your car. And then what they're doing is they're automatically their guard. You know this. Anytime a sales call happens, I don't care if they want it or not, their guard is up. So if I come to your house, so your guard's up. We all are like that. Our guard's up. Like, I ain't going to be had. You're not coming to my house and ripping me off. We have to get the guard down. And the only way to get the guard down is you don't talk price. You don't talk sales. You talk about, oh, well, this is what it would look like. And then we sit down and we talk a little bit about the company, a little bit about us. And we say, well, why am I here? Then, well, what are your reasons? And you start doing that to where their guard comes down and they're doing all the talking. And then you go, well, here's what I can do for you. To me, that's always worked better. It's how we've trained our people in every industry because you don't want salespeople. Salespeople, they're just hungry. You want educators in the home that can educate the consumer to make the right decision. That's how I've always spun it. Like you have to educate the consumer. This is how this works. This is what the impact is. Here's your potential savings. Here's what we can do. Here's some testimonials. I'm real big in testimonials. We had thousands of testimonials online. People saying, I love solar. Bam, I got it. All these things. And when they see that, it's more real. And I hold you accountable. I'm real. Like you could tell me, hey man, this is my logo. What do you think? I'm not here to run your business and pick your logo. I'm here to just give you advice. I said, dude, it's dog shit. One of the NFL players I got, he owns a dumpster and hauling service. And he's like, Jay, like, Like, what do you think? And I started there and I said, well, let's see your brand. And I go, who made this, Tavon? He's like, my boys. I said, all right, with all due respect, it's dog shit. He's like, why? I said, dude, it's not warming. It's like, it looks like fucking Pete in the backyard is doing this. Like, it's like, come on. He's like, really? He's like, what the hell do I do? I said, have you ever used Logo Tournament? No. I'm like, dude. So I put him on the Logo Tournament. Him and his kids go on there. Have you guys ever used Logo Tournament?
No.
Oh my God, it's the best shit in the planet. So for like $300 to $800, you pick how many people you want. You give it the idea and the concept for your logo, and it goes out into the world. And all these people from like Indonesia and Asia and India and I mean everywhere. These, artistic logo digital creators are blasting you with logos to choose, and you choose the winner, and they get paid the money. And you can message them and go, I like these 5. You have to rank them all the time. I like these. Then people try to mirror those 5. And then you're like messaging, I don't like this color. Can you change this? I like this. And then you get your logo. Every logo I've ever had came from there. The Pink Energy logo was the first one we got out of 2000. And I was like, that's the one. And I let everyone else think about it. We went 1,999 more. And when it hit 2000, I said, everybody good? They're like, yeah, we like that one. So, and the reason we changed to Pink Energy is we had a deal doing a reverse merger with the company XL Fleet. And they didn't like the name Power Home Solar. And we were in a lawsuit fight with Power Home Remodeling for 4 years. We're like, well, we don't care about the name either. We can brand as whoever. If we're going to be a public company, it's going to be a big thing. Let's change it. So it took us about 2 months to figure it out. In October of 2021, we decided, you know what, let's go with Pink Energy. And I decided that in the bedroom. I was going through some name generators, and I went to my wife and I'm like, hey, what about like Pink Solar or Pink Energy? She goes, I don't hate it. I said, I freaking like it. So we sent it to the team and they were like, holy shit. I said, think about it. And then when we made it, Breast Cancer Awareness hit us up. We did a whole deal with them. Like, it was just, we were so excited, like, be this public company, be Pink Energy. Because we were going to do microgrids. We were going to be doing like, community, like all these things for low income housing. Like, we had this whole vision. Yep. Native, we were talking about it. So if we get somebody to do your native, that's where I told you can be on CNN. Hopefully you're not there. You can be on Fox News, wherever you are. Ad pops up. And you're like, oh shit. And you've seen it before. It's like, get solar. All the solar companies are doing it. Get solar for $0 down or whatever while you're reading a sports thing. You're like, what the fuck? That's native. I'm talking about when you're reading, you're just on a normal website. You're on ESPN, okay. You're on Free Press, you're reading something. And when you scroll down from the story, they have all these articles down there you can click, and it looks like it's an article. Real small, it says sponsored ad. And on there will be like a headline that says solar for no money down. And so someone who's just reading sports goes, oh, solar, no money down. Click. Now they got their information. Now they're filling out a form. That is native. So native is putting an ad in when they're just on a normal website. It's chasing them to websites they go to, right? We're retargeting, but native is that platform. Native is a platform that you can buy leads in that go on to like 1,000 or 2,000 websites, to where your ads are on there when people are on those websites, your local news websites, your CNNs, your Fox Sports, all that stuff. Networking and relationship building, I think, is very key as well to talk about. We've got this community here to build a network on. And I'm sure you're part of other groups. I was part of Tiger 21 for a while. Jeremiah, I think you're in a couple, EY groups as well. You need to be networking. We talked about it. In today's world, you have to be posting on social media. You are your own brand. It's not just your company. It's not just you. You are your brand, because if people know you, they need to know what you do. So you need to be posting what you do or about what you do every day. You can't fall into that group of people that go, well, I just don't really use social media. Then you shouldn't run a damn business. Well, I don't really want to be on social media much. Then you shouldn't be running a business. That's how this works. If you're running a business, you're the face of that business. You're the brand of that business. You're the thing that makes that business run. How are you going to hire employees if they don't even see who or what you're about? People that work for you want you to be relatable to them, and people that buy from your company, they want to know who you are. That's a fact. If you're going to put your name on a website, you need to have some information on your social media. And your company's social media should be posting all the time. And I don't care what you do in business, you should always have testimonials. But that's one thing that's super important, that in the two businesses that are, two kind of industries I was in before, is getting a testimonial. These testimonials, you put them on the website, you put them on social media. People want credibility. Right? They're going to buy from you because they're interested. You've ran an ad with a call to action. You're getting them all the points they want, but they want credibility. Like, they want to know who you are, why you're doing what you're doing, Are there other people that have done this? Are they the only ones? Nobody wants to be the first customer ever, right? You always have to act as if, even if it's your first home you're selling or your first haircut you're doing or whatever it is, you can never act like that's the first customer. You got to act like you've done this a million times before, because that confidence will allow them to trust in you. I'm real big into testimonials. Reviews and testimonials are huge. The old company we had, I don't know, Jack, what would you say? It was probably like 2,500 testimonials, 3,000 testimonials. And it's the SEO. The more video you put out there, the more posting you put out there, the more reviews you get out there, the algorithms let you go to the top. And it's so key. That's how you're getting free advertising. It's free. You can literally do posts and it's free. Yeah. And it's got to be consistent, right? Sometimes, after you've been doing it a lot of times, it's not going to go up 4,000 every month. You're new to this. It may go up 12%. It may go up 15%, but that adds up a lot. You add that up in a year, you're over 100% growth, right? Of people seeing that. And it's all about getting the eyeballs on what you're doing. Love to talk about that. I love comp plans, dude. I love to go over comp plans.
There's not much you don't love.
Well, there are some things I don't love. Okay. I don't love finances, although I'll go over them, but Brian will tell you, I like numbers now. And he's like, we're still working on April's books. It's May 2nd. I'm like, well, you're fucking 2 days late. We should have it at April 30th at the end of 5 o'clock. I want to know how we did. So there are things I don't like. But I do love most of the stuff just because I love the the hunt, the game, the whole thing. I love it. I love to see the stuff. Now, when it was my companies and I had to change sales plans, I was like, fuck, we got to change sales plans again. And I would get excited because I want to be creative I have a 70-30 rule. And a lot of times, especially for leadership, pay them 70% of their salary, make 30% based on company's profit or what they've brought to the table, driving business to where you want their 100% comp plan to be. Therefore, they have a vested interest to not just come in and clock in. There's going to be results driven. I'm a big believer in that in all positions in the company. Like, that's a big deal to me. No, I get it. And I'm a big fan. We did that all the way from people booking appointments to managers, to leaders, to installers, to project managers, to service leaders. Like, we did that in a lot of our positions. Some positions it's hard to do if you just have somebody counting beans and doing accounting. It's hard to say, but they can be profitable on the business being profitable, right? But you don't want them to screw the books over. So that's a funny line there. There's different options, though, you got to think about. Customer service, we used to bonus our old customer service teams on their quality of calls, their call time. You'd win an award, things like that. But you just want to keep the competition up, and you don't want them just clocking in and clocking out. The other thing you always talk about is profit sharing, which we mentioned a little bit, which I think is important too. Where you offer, certain employees, leadership employees, a way to be, if the company's profitable, they're profitable. They get a spiff. We do that now in the new venture, and it doesn't kill the company, but it allows them to feel like an owner without owner rights and get paid on profit of the business. And it's a good deal. Wouldn't you agree, Brian? Like, it works out for these folks. It'll be costly when we're huge, but it's worth it. That's the deal you make. And you want them to be there for that. Right? You want them to be able to post them on the wall and say, look, they started when we opened and look what they're doing now because they were part of that. Don't you want to be part of this? You always want to have that story to tell, right? And so you need folks like that for that success story. Same thing with you, Danielle, like whoever's running your things, you need to tell the story. They came in, they're doing this. Now they're a leader here. When you're hiring, don't you want to follow that path? We might open another location, right? You want to build that hope and that desire for them. But people come in, they take jobs for 3 reasons. They take jobs for the opportunity. They see the growth opportunity in the business. They see other people being successful. They see the growth ladder. 2, money. 3, culture. If you work on those 3 things, you'll get the best people. But they've got to see the ladder. They got to see people moving up the ladder, because some people aren't as motivated of money. They want to be a manager. I want to be a general manager. I want to be a director. Some people are driven by title. Some people are driven by that ladder of success. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I like that. I mean, I like money too, but I like to move up. That's how I was. I wanted to be number 1. And then some people are only driven on money, or money's part of that equation. And then the culture. Like, you got to make that culture fun. The downfall and the greatest thing of the businesses I've ever ran is it was cult-like. And I didn't do that on purpose. But because we gave profit sharing, and because we gave hope, and because we had the success story of growing within, moving people within the company up to be managers and directors and regionals, it was almost like a cult. Like, they were all in. And the problem with that's a great thing, because then they're giving you 110% most of the time. The problem with it is if they're not on the team anymore, There is no, it was a good ending. They hate you. You're like the ex-girlfriend or boyfriend and they can't stand you now because they're not part of it anymore. That's what happens. That's a good and it's a bad. To me, people ask me all the time, well, would you change it? No, I wouldn't. I'd do the same thing because I'd rather have people going to bat for me like we're in a battle, like we're in a war, all in, no matter what. And then we deal with the ones that leave and they don't like us. They hate us because they're not part of it. Fine. Rather than I just get half-assed people that only put in half-assed effort and I get half-assed results. I'm not a fan of that. So I like them to drink the full Kool-Aid and be all in. And I don't purposely make it cult-like, but because, we're all rowing the same way and we're excited and we're all on motivation and we all have the same dream and we're, everybody's got skin in the game, it becomes that way.